feeling good. My word.
I did it!
James Gunn defends Matt Reeves. Ripoff or not, we'll find out together. And Danny Boyle is a changed man.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call. Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And we have a great show for you today. We're coming to you a little bit early in the day.
It's a little bit.
Just a little bit. 30,
Well,
30
actually,
minutes.
it's supposed to be on time.
What?
We're actually on time for once.
Is it 12? No, we should stream at 12:30.
Well, initially it was 12.
That's a good point. Over the years, we pushed it back to 12:30.
Yeah.
So 12 o'clock stream, midday West Coast.
Yeah.
East Coasters, they're just having their lunch right now. But yeah, so thank you to everyone joining us on YouTube Live and otherwise. And of course, all the OG audio-only classmates out in podcast land. If you haven't made the move over to YouTube, why not? Come over and say hi.
Yeah, it's fun.
Check out
You'll
our...
have fun.
That's right, our glorious ponums.
We're here right now.
Yeah, and if you ever want to hear like what some of the classmates sound or look like,
Whoa.
you can see on our
My word.
yeah, on our YouTube, our trivia segment. It was Tyler versus the class a couple weeks ago. We had Heather and Stu and Dallas and all kinds of fun people.
Joseph Bridges.
Yeah, Joe Bridges was there. Yeah, it was fun. So you can't get that on the audio only stream, and you get to watch the trailers. You get to do all kinds of fun stuff, interact in the chat. So, anyways, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
You better now, Tyler. You abandoned me on my birthday.
Yeah,
Last
I
week.
do apologize for that. So
I only turned 39 one time. One time, and you weren't there. I called twice.
I gotta tell you, it
Not
was,
a fuck you.
I was so depressed that day because I couldn't come do the show and hang out on your birthday.
Yeah, we had.
And I was mostly asleep for the whole day. And then when I was awake, it was just dread.
We made pizzas in the backyard afterwards. They were great.
Chris Geiger was here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Other
Cool ass yard duty
people.
Chris was here.
It sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah, one of us actually had a really good time.
Yeah, I was 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, God. Nice.
Yeah, I was
Played Mario.
Yeah, we played Mario. We recorded a drunk podcast.
Oh yeah, we came up here.
We did?
Because
Yeah.
Chris and
Chris and Frankie.
had not seen the podcast. Right?
No, so yeah, we recorded a quiz, like impromptu quiz to some of the.
You should have
fellas.
clipped some of it so we could play it on the show.
I have it. I haven't gone through it yet. All I know is I did a spot check and there was missing audio because I forgot to unmute.
Oh,
before,
yeah,
you,
that's right.
before you came along, but I had that saved on Audacity, so I got to put it together.
It's like
Maybe it'll be a Patreon or something.
yeah, that's
Just send it to Chris and
To Chris and Frankie.
Yeah.
well, it sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. So this week, though, we got a traditional show. We got some gab. We got some chatter. We got some streaming picks. So,
I before we do that though,
Oh,
worlds collided over the weekend.
oh really?
Local celebrity Adam Murphy
Oh, cool.
and Cool Ass Yard Duty Javier met for the first time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that I was talking with Adam outside my place because he was coming to pick something up, and then Javier's in town, and we were hanging out that day already, and they just showed up at the same time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
What is this? A crossover episode?
yeah, exactly. In the same universe, worlds are colliding. I was like, guys, don't fight over me.
There's enough Navarro to go around.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was a good time. That sounds fun.
yeah.
Let's do some proper gab and chatter, shall we?
Find some charity in ye, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter movie news of the week. Tyler, lead us off.
All right, so everyone that was a fan of the Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman movie, is chomping at the bit for the second one to actually, get the ball rolling, start filming.
Yourself included. You're
Yeah,
constantly screaming into the ether about when am I going to get my Batman?
Yes.
When am I getting my Batman?
Yeah, and I mean, I apologize for my poor behavior.
You call it
but-
my Batman too,
My Batman.
starring my Robert Pattinson.
My Batman, Matt Reeves,
Yeah.
Batman too.
Well, James Gunn, he's on the press tour promoting his new film Superman, and this is like a question that he gets asked in every single interview. When's the Batman 2 coming out? And so he got really fed up with Entertainment Weekly.
I'm tired of this.
He said, so they asked him the question, when's the Batman 2 script gonna be in your hands? When's the movie gonna start production? And he says, listen, we're supposed to get a script in June. I hope that happens. We feel really good about it. Matt's excited. I talk to Matt all the time. I'm totally excited about it. So we can't wait to read the scripts, but we haven't read it yet, if that's your question. That's what he told the Entertainment Weekly.
The way he said it makes it sound he's really upset.
Yeah, I was trying to accentuate that,
It was a delightful conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It was a fireside chat.
yeah, he said people should get off Matt's nuts because it's like, let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs to write it. That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something because you like his movie. I mean, you like his movie because of Matt. So let Matt do his thing the way he does.
Yeah, I don't care if it takes 3 years or 5 years or whatever. Just
But I kind of self-reflected after seeing his ire towards this poor Entertainment Weekly journalist, and
who left in tears.
yeah,
After being berated by James Gunn.
and I just was like, you know what, I should change my tune a little bit and stop being so finger pointing, hurry up.
Entitled.
Entitled is the correct word I was looking for. And so James Gunn, and I feel bad for James Gunn because everyone's asking him about the Batman 2 instead of the movie he's promoting.
Tyler, put your phone on its face. Put your phone on its face. I'll give you $5 if you can tell me the name of the actor playing Superman in the new Superman movie.
I
don't know.
I couldn't even tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know.
David Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat?
Corin Sweat.
Oh.
Corin Sweat?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Never heard of him.
I haven't either. I'm very curious about the Superman movie.
I
Has Crypto the dog in it.
could care
Less.
less. I couldn't care less.
Couldn't care
I
less.
could not care less.
You
about
almost lost
It looks-
5 social points from
it.
me.
It looks like a CW show.
I don't care about Superman at all. I haven't seen any of the original Supermans with the Richard Donner ones with.
You'd only
what's
need
his
to
name?
watch the
Christopher
first
Reeves.
one.
Christopher
I've never seen
Or
any of
first
them.
and second one.
But I do love James Gunn. Everything he's ever made, I've enjoyed. So I'm holding on to that hope.
Yeah, so I just find it. So I just kind of, took a step back and I was like, okay, just
Self-reflection.
Just chill. You'll get your Batman soon enough.
Suck on that, James Gunn. Very good.
Anyways, that's what I got for this week.
All right, awesome. Joseph, what do you have for us for Gavin Chatter?
Well, we mentioned the lawsuit that was put against the director of the new movie Together, starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco, alleging that they essentially ripped off this other movie called Better Half, which
So the new movie's called Together.
yes, allegedly has the same very, very, very similar story and plot points. And Together is a horror, like a married couple horror movie. And Studio Fest filed a copyright lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court, alleging that Alison Brie and Dave Franco had turned down an offer to star in Better Half, and then develop their own concept of a body horror movie based on a codependent relationship together.
Interesting.
So they're saying like they turned down my movie and then they went and made that same movie.
To be fair, it's written and directed by someone else, Michael Shanks.
Yeah, I think Dave Franco did have a hand in it though as well.
Okay. Producers, Alison Brie, Dave Franco. Okay.
So they have their hands in the making of it. It's not Alison Brie's not just starring in it.
Okay.
And now Michael Shanks, the director, has come out with a statement and as released by Neon.
Okay.
And
This is a Neon production.
yes.
Okay, cool.
And it goes as such. Have you ever been in a relationship so long the line between you and the other person starts to blur? It's almost like an elevator pitch opening. Basically saying that he's been with his partner for over 16 years, over half of his life, and the entanglement of identity, love, and codependence is what inspired his movie. Like, it's not just like a script, it's something that he pulled from he's saying he pulled from his personal life. And originally he completed the first draft of the script in 2019 and registered it to the Writers Guild of America that same year.
Oh.
In October 2020, he received development funding from Screen Australia to further that project. In 2022, his agent at Warner Media introduced him to Dave Franco. From the very first meeting, they bonded for the horror, and I pitched him Together, a script I've been trying to get into production for years with no luck. Soon after, he and Alison Brie came on board to act in and produce the film. So to now be accused of stealing the story, one so deeply based on my own lived experience, one I've developed over the course of several years, is devastating and has taken a heavy toll. So could be just parallel thinking.
Yeah.
Or is that what they call it?
Yeah. So.
He stands by Together and its origins and the years of work it took to make it real. To make this independent film was an absolute dream come true that required years of hard work and no shortage of luck. So he's coming back saying like, well, I've had this idea for I don't know, however long, 7 years.
If he truly registered it in the story in 2019,
yeah,
that's almost like one of those things where you're like, I'm going to mail this to myself and leave this like the sealed, dated, whatever, to prove that I did this first.
Yeah,
it's like the what's it called, the plot of Primer.
Oh,
I went back for. I've been having a machine running this whole time.
Yeah,
but I think if he's actually registered in 2019, then it's verifiable. But have we verified it? Is he just like snaking his way out?
This is what he said.
Okay.
This is and I mean the writers.
What's the other movie called?
Better Half.
Better Half. Let's see here. Better Half IMDb. 2023.
Very recent.
Follows Arturo, who is searching for true love, and Daphne, a polygamist allergic to commitment. They meet for a one-night stand, but they end up finding their missing halves when their bodies fuse together during sex. It's not exactly the same story, because like I think the one with Alison Brie and Dave Franco, they're a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Just because they've lived essentially together so long, their lives are
I mean the aspect
melding.
of just joining together like that, like a shunting type thing, is I think what probably like I mean that's like as a big part of the story.
I've seen,
right?
Yeah, I mean I get it. It's similar.
Also in Colorado Purple with the
Color Out of Space.
Colorado Purple, the color out of space.
there is a lot of purple in there.
It's like the son and the mom combined, or something like that.
Yep. And the llamas.
Oh, what llamas?
Remember in the barn, they're like the llamas in the barn, and then they go out there and it's a big, massive mutant molten llamas.
I tried to forget that movie.
I rewatched it years later and liked it, but in theaters I was heavily disappointed.
Also, the weird spoilery Q&A they put in front of the movie.
Yeah,
that was really poorly run.
Yeah.
There's a Reddit thread. I'm looking for movies where two characters merge into one. And let's see.
Army
here.
of Darkness.
Blade Runner 2049.
I guess they separate in Army of Darkness.
Venom.
I was gonna say Venom.
What if they took someone's face?
Me, Myself,
off?
and Irene.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey with Station. Annihilation.
Who combines?
Total Recall.
Like everybody with each other. They don't merge into a soup, but they're pieces of Ventress gets merged into the bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they merge into one singular creature already existing thing.
Yeah, I don't see. I could have sworn. I know there's a movie where someone like they wake up
Stuck
together
on
and
you.
Stuck on you.
they wake up and they're sewn together. I think, but that's different. It's not a
Sounds like a House of a Thousand Corpses.
something like that. But they're like naked and supposedly lovers. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, it was a short I watched. It was Spanish.
Oh, the short. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I remember hearing about it a while ago and thinking, well, that fucking sucks for everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not a huge Dave Franco fan, but I do like Alison Brie.
yeah.
So it would be sad to find out if they were plagiarists. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would be Michael Shanks specifically, and then they're just complacent.
complicit in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they got pitched this story and they were like, I like some elements of it, but not the whole story about the swinging and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then this other guy comes along and they get another script that's similar. Like, that's much closer to what we would actually want to do.
Yeah.
Let's throw our money behind that instead of this other one about a polygamist.
Yeah.
But then the other guy went and made his movie anyway. Better half.
Correct. Yeah, they just didn't get the funding or whatever.
He's like, I got to make it first.
Well, that's interesting.
So, I mean, the movie was still slated for release, I think. So,
Yeah.
it's not.
I mean, Rust still came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a while, but it came out.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, cool. So for my story, this is more of a kind of a course correction in history from our old pal Danny Boyle, who's got 28 Years Later coming out this weekend, and it's supposedly with 35 reviews at the time that I saw the posting, it was just 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I think it's still in the 90s.
What? 20 years later?
28 Years Later, yeah. And I heard it's like if Terrence Malick and Danny Boyle and someone else made a movie together. It's like a lot of people.
A lot of Terrence Malick fit into that.
A lot of smooth brains are saying that it's too artsy for them.
That's smooth brain.
Really?
So it's interesting to see. I'm
Curious to see how
Yeah, me too.
what that looks like.
But it's got buff Ray Fiennes in it. So,
Yeah.
But anyways, the point of this story is that Danny Boyle says he couldn't make Slumdog Millionaire today. That if he were to want to make the story, he'd want to find a young Indian filmmaker instead to do the directing. Yeah, he says, Danny Boyle says he's still proud of his Best Picture winner, Slumdog Millionaire, but even while acknowledging that, as a white British director, he could not make this Bollywood-influenced Mumbai epic tale today. He was speaking to The Guardian, and he basically said, in hindsight, it carries a lot of cultural appropriation. Despite working with a very large and primarily Indian crew, Boyle said that Slumdog Millionaire probably wouldn't even get financed today if a director such as himself would be attached. Quote,
True.
quote, we wouldn't be able to make that now, and that's how it should be. It's a time to reflect on all that. We have to look at the cultural language we carry, or cultural baggage that we carry, and the mark that we've left on the world, which is rich coming from a freaking Brit. They steal everyone's culture.
And exactly. It's probably what he's calling back on.
Yeah, good for him.
Well, and plus the British kind of fucked over India a long time ago.
And half of the countries in the world. Yeah. Colonizers. But I mean, who are we to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he continued, I'm proud of the film, but you wouldn't even contemplate doing something like that today. It wouldn't even get financed, even if I was involved. I'd be looking for a young Indian filmmaker to shoot it. So then they asked him basically if Slumdog could be considered a form of cinematic colonialism. And he said, no, well, only in the sense that everything's colonialism if you look at it from the right perspective. At the time, it felt radical. We were making the decision that only a handful of us would go to Mumbai. He'd work with a big Indian crew and try to make a film within the culture, but you're still an outsider. It's still a flawed method, and that kind of cultural appropriation might be sanctioned at certain times, but in other times it can't be. So I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I mean, good for him for
He's gone
recognizing-
woke.
You know what? We don't get new Danny Boyle's movies anymore because of woke.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since then he hasn't made any culturally specific movies.
Let's see. Danny Boyle, IMDb. Let's
He made
see.
Sunshine, the 28 days later. I don't think he made 28 weeks later.
No, he didn't.
I honestly think that Danny Boyle is secretly one of the greatest living directors. He
Really?
makes
He did Yesterday.
He makes so many great movies, and it's like hidden under the radar.
Oh,
great
Train
movies.
Spotting was like early.
Yeah.
And T2 Train Spotting.
So let's go from no TV movies, just from he started with Shallow Grave, 1994, Train Spotting, 96, Iggy Pop, Lust for Life music video. Okay. A Life Less Ordinary, 97. The Beach, 2000.
Oh, The Beach.
Yeah. 28 Days Later, 2002. Millions, 2004. Sunshine, 2007. Slumdog Millionaire, 2008. 127 Hours, 2010. Trance, 2013. Love that one. Steve Jobs, 2015. T2 Trainspotting, 2017. Yesterday, 2019.
The Steve Jobs movie he did was with Michael Fassbender, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Steve Jobs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the Kutcher one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Aaron Sorkin wrote that one too.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then 28 years later, he also has a upcoming movie.
Did he? Yesterday, right?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday was 2019. Yeah, 2019. And then he's got an upcoming movie called Methuselah, an action-adventure story centered on a 1,000-year-old man who has used his time on this planet to develop an unparalleled set of survival skills.
Wow. Liam Neeson.
That was a
Interesting.
set of skills. A set of particular
really
skills.
old Liam Neeson. Are you guys excited to see for the Naked Gun movie?
Nah,
Yeah.
Not really.
And yes and no.
Yeah,
I'm excited because of that one OJ joke.
yeah. That's what everybody keeps.
But I mean, I don't know. Modern day parody movies, I don't know if it works.
Well, they're doing that in Spaceballs too
Yeah.
now.
They're doing the Spaceballs.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, I know. So it's like in that era, we have the Naked Gun reboot.
The
and
parody
Spaceballs.
movies are back.
Parody movies are back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have. It's kind of interesting. Danny Boyle. The thing that shocked me the most about this when I saw a picture of him, he looks like a Megamind crossed with Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not what I thought he looked like when I saw the picture. He's got a large cranium, that guy.
I know. I was like wondering where his hair. He looked also like Phil Collins or something.
Oh yeah, you're right. Rip. Anything else, guys?
Is he dead?
No.
I was gonna say, I was like, he's very much alive.
Anything else, fellas?
No.
All right, let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks. Movies that we watched on our streaming services this week that you can watch on yours too. Tyler, lead us off.
All right. I watched 4 movies this week, but I'm only going to talk about the 2 ones that I enjoyed the most.
What were the 2 that you didn't like?
We want to hear about the other ones.
What are the 2 you didn't like? You don't have to talk about it. Just give us.
Okay. Ghost World was one
You
of
didn't
them.
like Ghost World? I could have sworn you would have loved that.
Everyone was saying that.
Yeah, it seems like right up your alley.
They're just like, oh, I thought you would have liked that movie. I was like, no, I really didn't.
Okay.
And then, what was the freaking other
Well, don't
one?
watch American Splendor. You'll hate that one too.
I love American
Oh my
Splendor.
god.
That's a Paul Giamatti.
Whoa.
film. Yeah.
My word.
Okay, no Ghost World. What is the other bad one?
I didn't. Again, Ghost World isn't bad. It's just.
No,
it's
you said
just,
what you said.
I never said it was bad. I never said it was bad.
Stay away at all
Is
costs.
it the weird relationship between Steve Buscemi and the main character?
That was jarring.
Thora Birch?
That was jarring. Yeah, but and that young Scarlett Johansson too. I totally was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the other one. Oh, Benny and June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
I didn't like that. I actually didn't like that movie. I think Johnny Depp ruined that movie.
Is that the one where he's like quirky?
Yes.
Like he's like
Yeah.
has a hat.
So the story of
Kicks around.
Well, the story of Benny and June is really compelling because it's about this brother who's been taking care of his disturbed sister, and he's trying to reconcile whether or not he wants to live this life taking care of her for the rest of his life or send her to an institution.
It's like reverse Rain Man.
Right.
Okay.
And so
Why can't you be like Raid Man?
and so that story is interesting.
some money, sis.
That story is interesting because you have this guy wrestling with this very hard decision because he's been taking care of his sister like ever since their parents died, and he keeps going through caretakers, and that was interesting. But then they shifted the focus on Johnny Depp being what I thought he had the same mental illness as the girl. But no, he's just some weird guy. And so every time he was on screen, I was just like, God damn it, this sucks.
Okay.
But then
Just some weird guy.
yeah, and it was just dumb. Oh, and I watched Robin Williams' Awakening
Okay.
with Robert De Niro. That one made me feel like I was going to hell
Awakening.
Why?
Isn't that
because I was laughing.
why? What's wrong with it?
You just have
Well, what's it about?
It's Robin Williams plays this doctor who's not
Patch Adams.
who isn't
He's treating patients that have Parkinson's.
no, that's not Parkinson's. It's like this weird disease where people are frozen, like they can't move.
Comas?
And no, they're not in a coma.
Oh.
They're awake. They just
They're
can't
like-
talk. They can't move. Yeah, or they'll like be looking up
Our
like
old
this.
friend, the human statue.
11 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
It's based off of a true story, and so Robin Williams
Is
plays.
this your streaming pick?
No,
No, you hated this movie too. Or
yeah.
you didn't like it.
I thought it was.
Is it a
okay.
sincere like drama?
It's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. But you thought it was funny?
Yes.
Why?
You'll have to watch
No, but
it. You'll
like
understand.
funny
He's
bad.
laughing. He's laughing at the
No,
people's
not-
plight. Is what he's doing.
Yes.
Are they
That's
frozen like in a funny pose?
Some of them are, but once they get the medicine that starts making them move again, it's supposed to be an endearing movie. And I was, but
Oh, so it's like cheesy.
no, it's not. It's well acted. It's just that when
Ty just doesn't like good.
I don't want to recreate what they do in the movie
It's
because
got
I don't
a
want to.
7.8 on IMDb.
I don't want to recreate.
There's Zeke Heiling. Is that?
No, it's just.
He's gonna get himself in trouble.
I will exactly. I'm really tempted to do it, but I'm not going to. Just check,
give us your actual streaming pick.
check that out on Netflix. It's funny if you're an asshole.
Funny if you're an asshole. Got it.
Okay.
All right. This is also streaming on Netflix. Conan the Destroyer.
The
Just
sequel.
it's so just it oozes 80s action fantasy movie genre. I really love this movie. I think just the aesthetic of it all is very enticing to me, but I'm a fan of like that 80s like medieval kind of stuff, and so that was very much down my alley. And yeah, it was a simple story, beginning, middle, end.
You've seen the first one.
Yeah, I've seen the, but
I haven't seen either of them.
I haven't seen the second one though.
Oh, okay.
Wilt Chamberlain's in this.
Yeah.
He had sex with 10,000 people.
Is that right?
word.
He's also the only basketball player to score 100 points in one game.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? 100 points in one game with himself.
And 100 chicks in 1 hour.
Yeah.
100 chicks per hour. Yeah, so Conan the Destroyer, just really fun, simple action movie you can watch on Netflix. I had a great time.
Pat Roach is in this too.
My father's sword.
I've never seen it.
And then my favorite movie that I watched this week was Fargo, 1996 Fargo.
First watch?
First watch.
Really?
Oh, really?
Holy crap! This movie was so good. It was. I kicked myself for not watching it, like until now.
Can't be the Coen brothers.
Well, it's funny. Like, I remember I was having a conversation with someone, and they're like, "Have you ever seen Fargo?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've seen it." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then I'm watching it, and I was like, "I've never seen this movie before." And they were like,
You thought you saw
Of
it?
course I've seen
and,
this.
and then they're like, "You said you saw it." And I was like, Oh, I thought you meant Argo, not Fargo.
I thought you said Weast.
I was like,
I love Tyler's stories about how he chooses the movies. Someone said I should watch this movie, and I thought, should I watch this movie? Maybe I should watch this movie. I don't know. Maybe I won't watch this movie. But then at the end of the day, I watched the movie.
yeah, it's kind of a long-winded point of, I watched the movie. Yeah, Fargo is really good. Directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, the Coen brothers. William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Frances McDormand, just all around.
John Carroll Lynch.
Well, I didn't even look at the plot going into this movie. I just pressed play. So I honestly didn't know where this was going.
You assumed you already seen it before.
No, that was Argo.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, Argo.
Yeah, not Fargo.
Fargo, fuck yourself.
And so, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I've kind of been enjoying, not reading the plots of movies before going into them.
Aren't you the one who, looks up spoilers for movies before you watch them?
I had a really bad habit of reading the last page of a book or reading the spoilers.
You do that with books, too?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm trying not to do that as much because I feel like when I do that, I lose the steam to check out the said thing that I was spoiling myself with.
Of course.
I mean, I guess that's why I like TikTok so much, because it's just fast form. So it's like
brain rot.
I don't want to watch 2 hours of this.
I think that's what's happened to you in the last 3 years since our Synecdoche, New York episode. It's TikTok.
The TikTok
brain rot.
Rot the brain.
Maybe. But that is streaming on Amazon Prime. Really good movie. I'm so glad that I finally watched it. And those are my and just an honorable mention, I watched both seasons of the new show Tires.
Oh, with Shane Gillis?
Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
That's a really, really funny show, and it's super bingeable. So definitely check that out on Netflix as well.
How'd you like? What'd you take away from Mike Yanagita from Fargo, the guy that she meets and when she goes into Minneapolis? He's an Asian guy he sits down with, and he's talking about how he's always had a thing for her.
Yeah,
and cries.
Well, once you find out that his wife wasn't actually dead from cancer, nor with the fact that he was even ever married, I got really creeped out. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about that particular character, like what's the point of it or whatever. It's like every time I watch it, I think about it. I'm like, why specifically that guy?
I mean,
what significance is it in the story?
I think it was just like a little bit of fluff to give the more complexity to the wife.
The best explanation I've heard so far is that once she realizes that he was lying the whole time, she kind of realized, oh, people can lie.
Oh.
So she goes and questions William H. Macy again. It's like, I think he's lying.
Okay, so it's just for character development.
It's almost just like everybody's so nice and honest there that eventually she's like, okay, maybe he's not being nice. Maybe he's not being honest.
I do like the Midwestern accents.
Yeah.
Like how over the top they were. It was fun. So those are my streaming picks for this week.
Cool. Awesome. Joseph, what do you got?
I've got a few. What I thought was, I haven't seen this movie, which is Pee-wee's Big Adventure, in a long time.
Okay.
I used to watch it a lot.
Never seen it.
And it's a Tim Burton movie.
Okay.
Starring Paul Rubin, or Pee Wee Herman, as he's credited as himself.
Pee Wee Herman as himself, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's how it's in the credits.
Like
Pee Wee
that.
Herman plays
That's nice.
himself. What I remember, the plot is that he has this bike that's like really souped up, and he like loves his bike, and it goes missing in the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Like it gets stolen, and I'm like, this could be like a detective movie.
Okay.
But it's revealed where the bike went in like the first 10 minutes. So it's like it's not a mystery anymore.
Okay.
It's just him. He doesn't know. So it's like dramatic irony. Is that what it's called? Where the audience knows but the character doesn't.
Sure.
And so he goes on a quest. In an act of desperation, he goes to a psychic, trying to find his bike, and like he's he's getting a reading, and she's basically just conning him, and you see it. He like gives her his wallet, and she's like looking around the room, like it's in Texas.
Oh, he's doing,
at the Alamo.
she's doing a Kaiser Soze thing.
In the basement. And so he believes it because he wants to get his bike back. And he goes on a quest to Texas. And I think he's in California.
Okay.
Or I don't actually know where he is, but it's like a kind of a road trip movie of him like trying to hitchhike at first with like the stick and like picnic blanket thing full of his stuff. And he's like some similarities to like Carrot Top, like a prop comic a little bit. Like he pulls out like a rubber thumb and then he's holding it out. And he's also like Inspector Gadget. He has just like a bunch of devices like in his house, like in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when they make breakfast.
Yeah.
There's like a Rube Goldberg egg making machine and toast and pancakes and all this stuff. And so he's that kind of silly character. He's
Over the top.
Yeah, he's like a
goofball.
It's like a clown character that is for adults and children. It's weird. It's like a blurred line.
Cool.
Because his character, Pee Wee Herman, he has like Pee Wee's Playhouse, which was a show, and then he had like a Pee Wee Broadway show, which was more for adults, like a little bit more inappropriate. So it's an interesting character, Pee Wee Herman is.
Does he visit the Amish in this one?
No.
That must be Big Top Pee Wee.
There's Big Top Pee Wee with Chris Christopherson, which is about him on a ranch, and the circus comes to town, this small town, and the small town doesn't want all these like the circus freaks there, and Chris Christopherson is like the ringleader.
All I know is there's a scene from that where he blows a balloon up really big, and he shows the Amish. He's like, "What do you do for fun?" And he like blows up this huge balloon and then just lets the air out slowly out of it. And it captivates the entire community.
Yeah. It's a childhood classic for me. This came out in 1985 and it's streaming on Max. It's a silly, fun movie, and I can see people finding his act like grating, but I think it's pretty funny. And he at the end of the movie, there's like a meta-ness to the movie where it's like the story that we had just watched gets remade into a movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he's at the drive-in watching it. And he has a cameo and some other actors playing him. Like a more.
Do you know who it is that plays him?
It's probably somebody more famous.
I'll look it up.
But he's like a James Bond type of character. But yeah, I would recommend that. I'm a fan of Pee Wee.
I like Pee Wee Herman. I haven't seen enough of his stuff, but everything I see from him I love. So I'll watch that. Where's that streaming?
That's on Max.
Okay.
Following that, another movie I have not watched since it came out in theaters from 1998, The Prince of Egypt.
Oh.
Animated one?
Yeah, the animated one with Val Kilmer, Ralph Fiennes, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, Steve Martin, Martin Short. This cast is stacked.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a star-studded cast.
And I saw this in theaters with my brother. It's a story of Moses, as we all know it, right? Very different than the Ridley Scott Exodus, Gods and Kings, with Christian Bale playing Moses. But this is it's like a non-Disney animated musical. The music,
it's a musical?
Yeah, it's a musical. It's
I
very.
don't remember it being a musical.
It's that's crazy because there's a lot of music in it. It's really, it's like as like a fantasy story, like the Moses story is like really, really interesting and powerful, and the way they do like the plagues is really cool. So if you're into that sort of biblical fantasy story, The Prince of Egypt is and you haven't seen Prince of Egypt, that's a high recommend. Music is pretty solid too.
Where's that streaming again?
That is on Netflix.
Okay, coal. I've never seen that one either.
Directed by Steve Hickner and Brendan Chapman. And then
Hey, Dallas in the chat.
Whoa.
a movie that is not streaming for free. You have to rent it. Starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd.
Oh, you saw Friendship.
This is Friendship.
I'll piggyback on that too because I watched it.
And
dang it.
Kate Mara, and Jack Dylan Grazer. Those are like the 4 main cast members. Oh, and a cameo
from Counter O'Malley.
Conor O'Malley.
Yeah.
Really briefly.
Yeah.
And pretty much it's like a Tim Robinson sketch that you're trapped in. Like it's just the same sketch for an hour and a half. And whether or not you like Tim Robinson's humor will determine if you like this movie.
Yeah. To be fair though, Brianna is not a huge I Think You Should Leave fan.
Yeah.
And she really had a fun time with it.
It's an uncomfortable movie. It's directed by Andrew DeYoung.
And written by.
And the story that is portrayed in the trailers is a lot different than the story that we get.
It's like a super small part of it.
Yeah, because I went into it thinking like he is a neighbor of Paul Rudd, who's playing a weatherman again.
Yeah.
He gets invited in. Tim Robinson's character gets invited into this group of guys, and they bond. And what I thought was going to happen was just that, like, for you don't know the reason at all, like he just stops being friends with him. Mm-hmm. Paul Rudd's character is like, you know what, man, this isn't working out. I don't think we should continue this friendship anymore. And I thought that we weren't going to get a reason why, but there is a reason why. And it's
warranted.
It's a little understandable.
Yeah.
Because Tim Robinson's character is painted, it reminded me of like Adam Sandler's character from Punch Drunk a little bit.
Just because he breaks the door.
No, because he's generally unliked. But the difference is that there's reasons why people don't like him.
Yeah.
Like people at his work don't like him
because he's the way he is.
Yeah, because he's the way he is. He's Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
And the opening sequence of this movie does also have drama to it, like a little bit of drama. In the very opening sequence where Kate Mara's character is like, they're in like a cancer
recovery group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's talking about like an ex of hers who's come back into her life as a friend. Mm-hmm. And Tim Robinson's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And then she's talking about like, asking like, am I ever going to orgasm again? And Tim Robinson's like, what? And then he speaks and he's like, well, I'm orgasming just fine.
And that's pretty much all he says.
Yeah. And that's the extent, like his character is reasonably unlikable. And he tries like, also like Casey Affleck and Jesse James, where he's like really trying hard. Trying hard.
Jesse James.
Really trying hard to fit in.
That's a good pull. I didn't think about that.
It's vastly different movies, but but like the character of like just trying too hard to fit in is essentially what this movie is, and it's you have to have like his flavor of comedy, I think, to find enjoyment out of it.
It feels like a different shade of a type of movie like the Farrelly brothers make, where everything is supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Me, Myself, and Irene, he's constantly getting put in these situations where there's no good way out of it.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation and he's the butt of the joke. Or Something About Mary or something of that, like that, where you're like, he's constantly just getting fucked up the whole time. But in those movies, the protagonist didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
In this one, he's absolutely in the wrong through all of it.
Yeah.
Like the people at work don't like him. And the first thing you see him at work is he fills his coffee mug all the way to the brim. And then he's walking with it through the hallways, like full mug coming through. Don't bump me. Don't bump me. And full mug's coming through. And then he puts it down on like the meeting table and it's spilling all over the place. And he's trying to sip it out of the top. And everyone's just looking at him like, why would you fill it that full every day? It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's his character, I feel like, assumes a lot about other people. Like the whole like, we gotta go check out that new Marvel out. It's supposed to be nuts.
Yeah.
And then his wife is like, I gotta go to dinner with my ex tonight.
With Devin, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't remember his son's name, but Jack, your mom's abandoning us. We gotta go check out that new Marvel. And he's like, I already saw it. and he starts giving like spoilers, and he's like, no,
No spoilers.
no spoilers.
This is a Marvel free spoiler free zone.
Yeah.
His son's name is Stevie.
Yeah,
No, that
Yeah,
sounds
the-
like a great time.
There's a scene where his a moment when his wife is missing, and when she comes back, she's sitting there. She's been missing for like a day and a half, and it's a very tense moment because he's pretty much responsible for it.
Yeah.
And he comes into the house, and like the police have been looking for her, the community's been looking for her, and she's sitting there with one of those like reflective blankets on in the living room, all dirty and nasty and stuff.
Yeah.
And he walks in, and she's been stuck in the sewer.
Yeah,
She's like freezing wet, cold, and everything. He comes into the house and sits down, doesn't say a word to her, sits down across from her and is like, fucking hot in here. You guys have the fucking heat through the roof.
Yeah.
And just like stares at her. And you're like, because he has no social wherewithal. It's real. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
It is very entertaining.
Yeah.
And the pacing of the movie is really quick. Like there's a moment where, I mean, I know we're giving a lot away.
Yeah.
There's a moment where he's like, he tries foraging for mushrooms with his son because he did it with his former friend, Paul Rudd. And you're like, this guy doesn't know anything about foraging. And
so
so
this is not going to go good.
and like he's with his son and he pulls out some mushrooms from the ground. And his son's like, are you sure those aren't poisonous? And he's like, no, it's fine. He takes a bite. And then some like genius
Just needs some
editing.
ranch.
Like, yeah, just need some ranch.
This mushroom needs some ranch.
Just like really genius editing where it just immediately cuts to him like sweating, like sitting down.
Really trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and then there's also a fantastic sequence where he's trying to get high.
Yeah.
When it ends, he's like, the fucking frog ripped me off. there's a lot of great one-liners that we could pull for the show from this.
Yeah.
So
Really good.
Is it still the $20 rental?
yeah,
Dang it.
yeah, it is. But
$20.
cool. I'm glad you liked it because I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was
If you watch, I think you should leave. If you've never even heard of that before, go to Netflix and type in "I think you should leave." Watch one episode, and if you're like, "What the fuck is this?
yeah.
I hate this," don't watch Friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So my streaming picks for the week. I did watch a movie that was inadvertently a detective movie. I didn't know it was a detective movie going into it, but it's called Pool Man from 2023, starring Chris Pine, directed by Chris Pine. Chris Pine directorial debut, I believe. This also has Annette Bening, Danny DeVito, the always beautiful DeWanda Wise, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Stephen Tobolowsky, Clancy Brown, John Ortiz, Ray Wise. Just a murderer's row of interesting actors. And this is I'll read the synopsis from Letterboxd. Darren Barronman, an unwavering optimist and naive Angelino, spends his days looking after the pool of the Tahitian Tiki apartment block and fighting to make his hometown a better place to live. He's a kind of weird hippie stoner wannabe, kind of acts like he wants to be a surfer, but really he's just a pool boy. And he takes care of like one pool is the Tahitian Tiki apartments, who his girlfriend, Jennifer Jason Leigh, is like the manager for. So he lives in like an RV adjacent to the property and just cleans the pool all the time, and then sits in his RV and types letters to people and mails them off on a typewriter. And he's the kind of like the main plot is that he's always on the hunt to make Los Angeles just a little bit better, whether that's like rerouting the bus line or trying to open up a new sort of like community rec center or something like that. And his dad is Danny DeVito, I think. They have a strange relationship. I'm pretty sure that's his dad, or maybe it's his adopted dad. And then
It's his daddy.
And then Annette Bening is, I think, his stepmom, and she's also his psychiatrist and his best friend, according to him. And they go together to like City Hall, to like the community open forums all the time. And Stephen Tobolowsky's like the city councilman that kind of always hears their bullshit. And when they go in at the beginning, the first time they go to their community meeting or whatever, they're trying to I think it's the one where they're trying to reroute the bus line. It's like, well, if you put the bus stop here, you can pick up people from this neighborhood, and other people from that neighborhood are disenfranchised because they got to walk 12 blocks to the bus stop. But if you do it here, it's an equal split. And he's like, probably has a valid point for all this, but he looks like an insane person, and he built like a diorama to illustrate his point. And he's like the 500th time in 3 years he's put a proposal in front of the city council or something like that. Like, they know him. The second he walks through the door, everyone's rolling their eyes. This fucking guy. Yeah. So it's got good intentions, but kind of a dope. And it feels like he's trying to model his character after Lebowski, but just not nearly as good as Lebowski. I mean,
He's like long hair, like a beach bum. Looking guy,
similar.
Right?
He's like a cross between Beach Bum and Lebowski.
Okay.
Long hair. A lot of times he's in flip flops or shorts with a blazer, and he unwittingly gets into this like sort of murder mystery plot where he's framed for the murder of somebody, and there's a whole like espionage and like a secret and like hitman and city council people being paid off and all these things. And he constantly is referencing Chinatown. In the movie, they're watching Chinatown, him and his like mom or his dad and stepmom. And they're watching Chinatown, and he says something like, it has something to do with the water supply. Because he's like, he keeps referencing, LA is built on a desert. But beneath us is a desert, but not Los Angeles. They said so in Chinatown. And it all kind of comes back to water at the end. It's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. And this got trashed.
Yeah, I remember it
Trashed.
getting wrecked in the reviews.
The highest ratings on Letterboxd is 2 stars.
Oh, wow.
Second highest rating is 1 star. It's a 2.2 average.
Interesting. And you liked it.
I thought it was good. It's got a tone though that takes a while for you to settle into, because it's not it doesn't play out like a standard movie. Like it's a lot of talking on top of each other. I feel like you'd have to watch this twice to really get it. And it's only got a 4.0 on IMDb.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I don't think it deserves the hate. It's not an amazing movie, but I was entertained with it. And it's got a unique sort of... I think the problem is that it's Chris Pine, and it feels like he's... I don't think people dislike Chris Pine, but they don't love him.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like he's really swinging for the fences. It's like this. It's like Simple Jack,
Okay.
He's trying to give us something great.
Well, there's he's the average Chris. There's Chris Evans and then Chris Pratt. And most people like Chris Evans over Crispy Rat.
Chris Pratt is hated by most.
And then Chris Pine, he was fucking...
Kirk.
Yeah, Captain
I mean,
Kirk.
I don't know about his character as a human being, but I like Chris Pratt in movies. It's okay.
He's fine.
I like Andy Dwyer. Andy Dwyer's great.
Yeah, really. So anyways, and Chris Pine also wrote this too, so it's like, this is like his baby.
Yeah.
He wrote, he directed, and I think he made a kind of a pretentious push in the festival circuit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think it was well received from the get-go. So it's almost like you start off with bad reviews that just kind of carries through, and he doesn't have the charisma or like the overall
The lure.
the allure that many other people in Hollywood have. So I don't think it's worth all the hate. And
I was in Smoking Aces.
and it's streaming on Hulu, so you can watch that on Hulu. And then the last one I watched that was not Friendship is another $20 rental, like a fresh one that I didn't get to see in theaters, but I wanted to. This is Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh.
Just came out. You can rent it pretty much everywhere for $20. And this is fucking fun. This is like right up there with part 2 and part 1. I think go back and forth for me for which is the better one.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 has more memorable kills. It gave us the logging truck scene.
Yeah.
Gave us a number of really dynamite kills that kind of changed the mindset of an entire society after watching it. But Final Destination 1 introduced the entire thing, and it has the phenomenal plane crash scene, which is really one of the greatest plane crash scenes of all time. It set a stage. It's instilled
More like of an explosion. Right?
Plane explosion.
Mm-hmm.
And then also other things like Sean William Scott's head being split.
That's the one that I remember the most. And the kitchen knives.
Yes. So the Rube Goldberg device of death trying to kill you, right?
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many things in it that are like if I'm near a train driving by, I don't want to be near it because I'm afraid something's going to be on the track and it's going to shoot up and cut my head off.
Yeah.
Or lawnmowers.
So this,
I don't want to be getting a haircut and there's a lawnmower outside.
oh yeah, the rock, throw the rock. Well, this one has another lawnmower scene in it,
Nice.
but it's more direct. Yeah, it's more dead alive than it is throwing a rock.
Not like the Happening type of situation where he just lays down in front of it.
He's on the grass when the thing comes, but he
Okay.
fell.
Or like Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker, yeah, kind of like that, or Dead Alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this kind of goes back to the roots. It's a great, except for it plays more into the lore where it's like, okay, what happens if Devon Sawa in the first one cheats death, and then he goes to that cabin, right, to hide away from everything.
The padded cabin.
Padded cabin, a la Laurie Strode from Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, right? She's in the cabin away from everybody.
Training.
Well, what if that person had children and they're living their life, but they're sheltered from the death of death because she's still alive? Well, when
So is it like genetics? So like
bloodlines.
Yeah,
Bloodlines.
I get it.
Final
now.
Destination Bloodlines.
I bet they were mad when Hereditary came out. They were like, God damn it. Final Destination Hereditary.
But the cool thing about this is that it's Zachary Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein are co-directors. They worked on a couple of projects together, and they're huge fans of the original franchise. And when they pitched the studio heads for this movie, they were doing it over Zoom, and they faked their own death on Zoom with a stray ceiling fan that sliced them up. And they had like a video ready to go that they cut to that was them dying.
Oh my God.
Like without warning, they did it on with all the studio execs and then popped back in, and everyone was like busting up laughing.
Yeah.
They fucking loved it.
That's awesome.
So they're
That's
true fans of the franchise, and it shows. And it was really, really well done. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 2 and 1 jockey back and forth for me. I think 2, still is the better one. But this is up there.
Okay.
You like the characters. There's some deaths. There's an MRI death.
Oh.
MRI machine death that's brutal. There's a piercing scene with like a piercing shop, tattoo piercing shop.
Oh,
That's you can imagine. So there's again, it goes back to the primal roots of like, oh, this is, oh, you broke a glass in the ice machine.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
you scoop up the scoop of ice, and you're gonna drink the ice. You know, they're playing with that whole like tension. Will it? Won't it? With death. And then of course Tony Todd. This is his last movie.
Yeah.
He was sick and on the edge of death, and they shot his scene first in production because they didn't know how long they had him. And his scene, knowing that that's the end of his life in real life, he gives a little soliloquy to them about living your life and not letting death scare you, and just you have to do what you're going to do because you only have one life to live. Blah blah blah. And that was very touching. Got a little choked up thinking about it because I was like, this could be the last. Could have been his last day on Earth.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the timeline or whatever, but it was very close to that. So that's a $20 rental, worth it if you are really into that series. We just watched all 5 in a row like last month preparing for this, me and Brianna. And she was very happy to do that because she hadn't seen most of them. Anyways, that's Final Destination Bloodlines. High recommend.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys got anything else?
I do not.
No.
Oh, Heather's in the chat too.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. Okay, cool. So, thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Heather in the chat, Javier, Michael, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so. Patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just watch us on the YouTube, recommend to a friend. We're at 1170 or something like that. 1100 subscribers, something like that.
Nice.
1100s. We're next goal is 2,000. And spread the word. It's a lot of fun doing this for you guys. We like the people participating in the chat, and just when we see a big spike in downloads on the audio thing, we know that new people are listening. It's pretty cool. So until next time, thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter. We talk movie news, streaming picks. Follow us later on today or later on in the week as we review The Kid Detective, my pick for Detective June. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And on TikTok, at Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right, we're going to take a short break because we got a hyper schedule today. So we'll be right back with the review of The Kid Detective. See you soon.
See ya.
See ya.
Oh, fuck.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we're reviewing our third pick from Detective June. Today we're going to be talking about my pick from the wheel, or I guess for Detective June, The Kid Detective.
I used to be loved. I used to be a kid detective.
We're all really counting on you.
I was so far ahead of the game. But one day I just woke up behind.
This guy in my homeroom claims he practiced with the Mets. I need to find out if he's lying.
He's lying.
It's Friday.
Somebody murdered my boyfriend.
Seriously?
Pretty seriously. He was stabbed 17 times.
Is it possible he was involved in drugs?
No, he would never do drugs.
Gambling?
No, he would never gamble.
Demon worship?
No, he would never worship a demon.
Here comes the kid detective.
Someone's following us.
This isn't safe. They're trying to see how my head works. Somebody's testing me.
All right. The Kid Detective.
Oh, it's you. Okay.
From 2020. Written and directed by Evan Morgan. An auteur, Canadian. It's a Canadian production. And this is starring Adam Brody as Abe Applebaum, the titular kid detective, turned into the detective. Also, a number of other people you probably wouldn't recognize. I really think there was really anybody in this that I recognized besides Adam Brody.
No.
Jonathan Whittaker as Mr. Applebaum, his dad. Wendy Crewson as Mrs. Applebaum, his mom. A lot of smaller characters, and then Gracie Gulliver, played by Caitlin Chalmers Rosato, is the young Gracie Gulliver. And I think that this is probably since it's a relatively lesser known movie. What do you guys say that we don't spoil this until one point? We'll give a delineator at some point in the show, because the reveal, I think, is a part of the appeal
charm
to me of this movie.
Yeah.
And it has it culminates at the end in a way that's, I don't want to call it satisfying, but there is a finite resolution to it. And I think that ruins if we were to just give it here. So okay, so the reason I picked this was because this was something that a movie that was turned on to me from Jason Kleberg from Force 5 podcast, friend of the show. And he mentioned it on his show. It was just a movie he'd watched, and it blew him away. And I take his recommendations pretty strong to heart. He's got a good movie taste. And I watched it, and it was like, this is fucking phenomenal. More people should watch this movie. I showed Brianna. She loved it. Bought it on Blu-ray, watched it again. I've probably seen this movie like 5 or 6 times since it came out in 2020. And it's like every time I watch it, I find myself laughing and smiling and cringing. And I think it takes a lot of the tropes of the detective movie that we've been talking about throughout this whole month and puts them under the microscope and kind of flips them on their head a little bit. Much like One Punch Man does to anime. You watch anime and you're like, oh, here's the trope of the guy that's overpowered, but he's a fucking dope.
Yeah.
And in this movie, you take the trope of the kid detective, the Hardy Boys style detective who has the detective in his detective agency in his treehouse, and he solves the mystery of the stolen church
fundraiser
money.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is goofy. Kids are paying him to find out who stole their bike.
Yeah.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, like Mystery Team almost, you know. And just like Mystery Team, he gets a case that is way above their pay grade when he's a youngster. And he basically has to find the missing kidnapped child, Gracie, his classmate and receptionist at his detective agency, kid detective agency, Gracie Gulliver. And spoiler alert, he can't find her. So flash forward from a 12-year-old to a 32-year-old 20 years later, and now he's still in that same office, still in the same hometown, but the charm of being a kid detective is worn off, and now he's a washed-up has-been.
Yeah.
And it's the story there. I think there's so many ways that they could have like progressed the story or written the story, and I just adore the way it laid out and the way that Evan Morgan wrote the movie and directed it. It's a great looking movie. The soundtrack is wonderful.
Writer on The Dirties too.
Yeah. There's some crossover there. He was basically paired up with
Matt Johnson,
and the composer Jay McCarroll also did the composing for The Dirties and Operation Avalanche and Blackberry.
Oh, okay.
So they're in that same kind of like crew.
Yeah.
And when you come from that crew, I think that it's kind of safe to say that you probably have some high expectations because those movies are, I think, great.
And it's his first. This is his first feature.
This is his directorial debut. Yeah. So, Heather's in the chat. She says, "Hi, nice to see that you're feeling better, Tyler."
Thank you, Heather.
Well wishes. Yes. So
feeling good.
That was a perfect moment.
Yeah, very good. So, anyways, that's the reason why I've seen it before many times. As I said, you guys haven't seen it before, right?
No,
I have not. No.
And this is one of the few times where I'm happy you haven't taken my advice to watch this movie. And it's a rental. It hasn't been streaming anywhere for free, so you had to rent it unless you have it on Blu-ray. But I'm glad you didn't, because now we get to watch it fresh. We get to get your honest opinion on it, completely blank slate. So, Tyler, you want to lead us off? Give us your opinion on the Kid Detective.
Yeah. So I didn't look into this movie at all, like when you said that you were going to choose it for this month. And for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be like a crappy, like late 90s movie, like just kind of like a tongue-in-cheek like choice for this month. I don't know why I thought that. I'm like thinking of like a kid detective movie, but that's campy. I just thought that it was
like Scooby-Doo or Hardy Boys or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
you had a preconceived notion of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So turned it on and I was like, oh, this is modern. This isn't from like the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. It starts out really great. And like you said, it was like it looks like a really good movie. And the acting is well done. The story is simple enough. The kid is a little bit arrogant, but he's not annoyingly arrogant. So it was easy to like get over like that hump of like, oh, this kid's an arrogant kid.
I like the line though where he says, "Sometimes I lay awake at night thinking, am I the smartest person alive?"
As soon as he said that, I like rolled my eyes. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I think that the way that they like built this movie, where they would go to the past and to the present, and how that like made sense moving the plot forward.
Yeah.
And I really liked the idea of him being a kid and then having like a super heavy case put on him, which really should have been on the police for the police and not like some 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I like that he continued to be essentially a PI up into his adulthood. His parents are disappointed in him. And in the beginning, like his house is like a complete mess. And the dad immediately says, "How's the financials?" Like not even saying hi or anything, just "How's the financials?" It's like, oh, fuck you.
Hit a little close to home, Tyler.
Yeah.
Daryl, get off my back.
So this was just a really solid movie with some good performances. I liked the story, the main plot of it, while also it peppering in like his past,
finding the girl's murderer or the girl's boyfriend's murderer.
Yeah, that one I thought that I'm not. This isn't a spoiler or anything, but the inevitable twist at the end like really took me off guard.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah. That scene is something.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, this was a really solid movie, and I'm so glad. And it has a bunch of even if you know the ending, it still has a bunch of rewatchability to it. Because it's just fun. So yeah, great movie. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. This has become in a list of my ever-changing top favorite movies.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm gonna watch it again soon.
High up there, huh?
Yeah, it was that good.
Good.
I gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, spoiler alert! Oh. Oops, wrong one.
I didn't write a review for it because just couldn't think of anything to say. I should have just wrote, it's good.
There
It's
you go.
good.
As if the 5-star rating didn't tell you.
It is your birthday.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, great recommendation.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Awesome. Joseph, how'd you like the movie?
I thought that it was pretty fucking fantastic.
All right.
And when I first put it on, Deanna was like, "Oh, it's like a lighthearted movie," and it's like it is pretty lighthearted for the most part.
For most of it, yeah.
While he is like the asshole of the story, and he's not like a character. Adam Brody's character, the main character, is not like his adult self is not the most likable person, right?
No, not at all.
But it falls into the trope of like these noir movies where, well, this guy's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And it uses a lot of it pulls a lot of inspiration from those movies. And there are probably parts of this movie where it could have been black and white in certain scenes where it's like where they leaned into that sort of noir lighting. But then obviously it has the modern filmmaking throughout most of it. I think specifically in his office with the blinds and the way it's lit. Overall, though, the production quality of the movie, it looks like they put thought, like a lot of thought into
for sure,
blocking and lighting and set design and everything, because it looks really clean. Like it looks very like it looks a lived-in world. It doesn't look I don't know what, like Hallmarky or something like that. It doesn't
look like a set.
It looks good. It looks really good. And I like the sort of overconfident kind of attitude he has. While it's like he looks like he definitely looks like he knows what he's doing, but then when he goes and talks to the victim's friend and asks him a question, and the kid's just like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
And
the follow-up to that's great too.
Your dad's gay.
Yeah.
It's just like a childish insult, even if it wasn't like maybe true. Like it's just like a childish insult.
Yeah.
I think that was probably has to do with the case that his mom was asking him about.
No, I know it does, but
it's so funny.
Even if that wasn't a thing, if his response, it's still childish.
For sure.
It was really funny though.
I saw that response coming a mile away when he's like, "You don't know what you're doing." I was like, "He's gonna say his dad's gay."
Well, yeah, because it came right after. He's like, "Don't mention it at all."
Yeah,
don't mention it as well because they think his dad's gay. So like for like, I guess like 80% of the movie, it gets a little bit darker as you get towards the end as he starts unraveling things, but then the last, I guess like 20 minutes of it turns into like fucking prisoners. like
seriously,
I'm like, holy shit! This took a turn. A very sharp turn, and I loved it. And I was a huge fan of the end, like the very, very end.
Where he's sitting on the couch with his parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's a little bit ambiguous on what it means, and you can infer a lot of stuff out of it, on what it means for his character. And it's like all that character development and all that time that he grew up from being a kid detective to where he is now, and all the cases that he's solved, maybe, and like what it means for his life that he's led so far is like, well, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah,
pretty heavy stuff to deal with, like retroactively, because it repaints everything that you've done or what you thought you've done.
Well, for sure.
And it was really, really well executed and really well written, I think. Yeah, just really solid, and it was also really funny. Like it blends a lot of genres, really well. And it's like being a detective movie without it. It's like paying homage to these detective movies, but it's not like a parody of a detective movie.
You're right. It's right on the line of that.
It's not like a Police Squad or something.
No,
it's not something like that where it's like obviously we're making fun of this genre of movie, but they are taking making light of those movies, but still paying a sort of homage to them at the same time, and especially with the music and the narration and all that stuff, and the woman, the girl who comes in and is like they're like partners essentially.
Yeah.
You know, it's like has all those bits that make a detective movie.
Yeah.
Put into one very delightful and kind of pretty depressing movie.
when it's all said and done.
Yeah. But yeah, I really, really liked it. And it's I don't know if it's ever been streaming for free.
No,
it's always
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Never seen it streaming for free anywhere, which is a shame.
Yeah.
More people should see it. And honestly, I think it's worth the $4 rental.
Yeah, and it's definitely an underseen, underrated movie for sure.
Yeah, it's a gem.
Not talked about enough. And it's got a solid rating on IMDb. It's like it has all the makings of like a movie that you would think is well known.
Adam Brody.
Yeah, the leading man, Adam Brody.
He's a charming guy.
Yeah, he is.
Like, even though he's a piece of shit in this for a lot of it, you still like him.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think he's a piece of shit. I think he is problematic. But a piece of shit.
I don't think he's problematic at all. I think he's a piece of shit.
What did he?
Very different. Very different.
His hair slicks back pretty well.
Yeah. It's got 71,000 logged views on it on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not completely underseen, but that's still pretty small. I mean, I still feel like more people should see this.
It's like the population of Sacramento.
That's 70,000. Elk Grove is 180,000.
Okay, so it's less than half.
Yeah, it's less than half of just this town.
Yeah.
We're good.
So
cool. I'm glad you really liked it.
Yeah,
I'm glad both you guys liked it.
Yeah, I love this movie.
So I guess obviously I liked it. It's my pick.
Oh, you liked it?
It's movie I've seen it many times. Instant buy. It was the instant buy for me. It was one of these. There's things that as soon as I finish watching a movie, I'm like looking on Amazon to buy the thing or whatever, or Orbit DVD. And I think what the really great thing about this is, for one, I already like detective movies. I like noirs for the most part. I don't like them all, but I like the genre. And it operates in that, like, the rules of that genre.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also takes this concept that we're all familiar with of, like, the Encyclopedia Brown or Hardy Boys or any of those kid detectives with their
Nancy Drew,
Scooby-Doo. I know they're supposed to be like teenagers, or Fred looks like he's 40 years old. The ascot, but you're familiar with that, and then they show you all those tropes of that familiar genre too at the beginning, where it's like, oh, I used to find myself in someone's house looking for clues, and it always happens where they come home and you have to hide in the closet, and you almost get away, and then you sneeze. And it's like, that's such a specific scenario, but we've seen it a million times in there, or at least we think so. Like, it's in the zeitgeist. You don't have to have seen those movies to realize that genre exists, or that trope exists within the genre. So you see that, but then you see the payoff to it is what it's like. Well, what if that was a fucking adult in your closet?
I loved that.
And that entire sequence was just gut wrenching.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, "What the hell's gonna happen? He's gonna get arrested,"
and he did. He's labeled as a pedophile.
Like, after just watching Friendship and seeing some of that type of editing where you don't see like the in-between phase, or it like just cuts to him in the police station.
Yeah, with the chief.
Because me and Deanna were watching and we're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? He just went from one closet to another.
Yeah, he's in the hallway for a second, and she walked right by him, and then he runs.
And they're playing fucking Pong.
I know. That little chubby kid was so funny.
Yeah.
When he's sitting and interviewing him, and she's like, "I'm sorry, Caroline." Touched his penis. Yeah, he had a concubine.
Concubine.
I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, but yeah, and it's like, that kid, just the little, and I think this is where I think the overlap between The Dirties or Blackberry and this work. Like, we can see they feel like they might be in the same universe, because all those properties, all those movies have interesting dialogue that doesn't pertain to the character directly, and doesn't pertain to the story directly, but just makes the world seem more lived in and real and fun.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, he goes, man, it smells good. What is that? Cupcakes. Oh, can I have one? No. Why is that? Your mom got you on a diet? No, they're for my sister.
And my mom already counted them.
Is she on a diet? No, she's just not very popular at school. My mom already counted them. And then he comments on the fact at the diner that he's like, those cupcakes were fucking killing me. He's just eating. He's hungry. And then when he breaks back into the house later, he eats one of the cupcakes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a 3-part. That's great.
Yeah.
But the dialogue of that character, how serious he is. And even Adam Brody's character, Abe, when he's like the chubby kid's about to spill the beans about whatever it is. And he goes, all right, I got to tell you. And he flips out his notepad to take notes. And he goes, he collected bottle caps. And he just like puts it away immediately.
Yeah, it makes that look too just...
Yeah, he's like, oh.
Thousands of them.
I know. He lies, Caroline, about movies he hadn't seen, but he said he had.
Books he's read.
He was impatient with disabled people. Like,
what? Shit on his grave.
I know. It's like he's like trying to sully this guy's name. But it's like all those little bits.
I couldn't tell if he was honestly telling the truth or not.
I think he was telling the truth.
Well, he was because in his...
and then the bottle caps were there. So
bottle caps were there. The picture of the tiger mask girl was there.
Well, it wasn't there.
Yeah, we find it later.
Yeah.
But he took it from the locker. He found out later he took it from the locker. But so it's like that makes the story, I think, fantastic. And then another one part of the story which ties into that kid detective, what life would be like 20 years later when he gets free ice cream for life from the candy shop.
Oh yeah.
And the Mr. What's his name? Hepburn, Mr. Hepburn. And he just, this disdain in his face when he sees Abe in line and asks for pralines and cream. And he's like, 20 years later, he's still getting fucking ice cream every day. You cheap ass broke son of a bitch. You see, it's all just laid out perfectly in the reaction of the person. But then the joyful part of it, maybe not joyful, but I think the impactful part is that it is a serious story. You're talking about a child, a 13 or 14-year-old child who was stabbed 17 times in this small town.
Yeah.
And then you deal with like his parents. The parents of that scene with the parents is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And he's
just the president of China there.
Yeah, it's true. He's trying his best to be professional, but you're like, he's way out of his league. Way out of his league. And when the dad asks him, he's like, I've solved 200 cases. You know, how many of them are murders? You're like, what is he going to say? He's going to say no to this guy's face?
Yeah.
3.
See, that's a realistic number too for saying you've done 200 cases.
I guess, but it's like, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And you're sympathizing with him because you're like, he does want what's best for the community, and he feels that immense shame from what he thought was my purpose on life. My purpose in life as a kid was to be this detective, and I've helped so many people, but the one time it really mattered when my friend went missing, I couldn't do it. And I think it's all encapsulated in that phone call between one of his other classmates when he's standing in the kitchen as a kid, and she's like, my mom said not to tell you this, but we're all really counting on you.
That was a heavy scene.
And it wasn't, she doesn't even say, do you have any leads? She's like, how long do you think until you find what's her name? Gracie. Until you find Gracie. It's like the kids assume that he's going to do it because he solves everything. He's the smartest kid alive. So I really loved that. And then I loved also how they take like certain tropes of the detective genre, like the villain layer where everyone's like standing around playing poker or not playing poker, playing pool. And he's getting frisked to go for, you think it's for a gun, but it's for peanuts.
Peanuts, yeah. That was
it takes this big picture of this like trope that we're familiar with and shrinks it down to a small town realistic level.
Because isn't it all people that he went to school with?
Yeah.
That just grew up.
They all lived there.
Yeah.
That kid is the one that he mentioned stole the stuff from the kid's desk. He says, oh, it's Clive so-and-so because he didn't take the peanut butter cups. Anybody would have taken the peanut butter cups, but he's allergic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like all these little names he dropped along the way get paid off as an adult later, and he's living with all these assholes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Rory Beans?
Yeah, I think it was Rory.
Yeah.
And he's like, and it's just like Batman. He's like in the asylum with all the people he put away.
Yeah.
But he's living in the society with the guy that keeps beating him up because he falsely accused him of taking the
fundraiser money.
Fundraiser money, yeah. So for all those reasons, plus what you guys said, it looks great. There's a deliberate attention to lighting and production. There's scenes where it's an interior scene and the sun rays are coming through the glass, and it just looks really good.
Yeah.
It's you can't accidentally make a good looking movie. It takes a lot of intention and a lot of care and experience to make a movie that looks good like that.
This was his first movie.
Yeah, well,
first feature.
Feature. And
feature.
He's helped on other features as well, and contributed to other features. But this is his project. And then of course the reveal, the interior scene, the one-on-one conversation where he's sitting across who I won't say, and you're like the music goes away, the snappy editing goes away, the humor goes away. It turns into, holy shit,
shit got real.
There's real monsters in the world, even in this goofy world we've been living in.
And it gets worse.
And then
significantly worse.
Then when you think it's over and he's like decompressing and he looks in the fridge and he sees what he sees, and it gets worse. And then, like Joseph said, sitting on the couch across from his parents, and that reaction, and then the cheery music pops back in.
Yeah, sugar, sugar, sugar town.
Sugar town. Yeah, Nancy Sinatra, by the way. But yeah, just start to finish, and I've seen it 5-6 times maybe, and it's just as good last time as the first time. So very cool. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah.
Any specific scenes you guys wanted to talk about?
Well, can we get into the spoilers now?
Oh, sure. Let's do. Do I have any sort of sound drops where I can delineate that? All right. From here on out, you have been warned. Spoilers.
Should we do grades for it?
Spoilers ahead. Yeah, sure. Let's do some grades.
So that it's like a final for the...
And then we can go into spoilers afterwards.
Do we really have to do grades? I think we all know.
No, what do you want? What's yours?
Yeah, A+. A+ for sure.
A+. Joseph, what do you give it?
Yeah, A+.
That makes 3 of us, baby!
Yeah. Triple A.
All right, so from here on out, spoilers beware. It's if you listen any further, you're gonna get some spoilers.
Hell yeah!
All the listeners were just like, "What?"
So we get to the end, and the whole time the movie we've been following the murder. There's two stories.
The murder.
There's the kidnapping, and then there's the murder. And the kidnapping is an unsolved mystery.
Yeah.
That unsolved mystery that he couldn't bring to fruition. It basically colors his entire future. It colors the present that we're living in for him. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it goes away and you forget about it. It's constantly referenced.
It haunts him.
They still have posters of her up and stuff like that. And it's like the town's never been the same since then. Blah, 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 blah.
And early in the movie, the mom asked him to find her cat.
Oh, yeah, that is her mom.
Yeah.
Did you find my cat? Actually, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because as an audience, you do too. But that story is basically an unsolved mystery, and you don't expect that to be resolved. Mm-hmm. But through circumstance, he gets the what?
Also, her husband kills himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He was the mayor.
He was the mayor. Yeah.
He kills himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So her daughter gets kidnapped, and then her husband hangs himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then her cat gets lost.
No. Yeah.
I think. By the way, I think your cat's dead. So, anyways. There's one clue that sets him off is that Caroline is the girl who hired him to find her murder of her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Caroline.
And she says, I know it was he used to fold up origami and give me origami in my locker. And two things don't stand out to that. Number one, how did he get the origami in the locker?
Right.
He would have to have the combination.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
There's also her realization, like, am I racist? Like,
yeah. He goes
because he's the only Asian at our school.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, origami's Japanese actually, and he's Chinese. So.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so racist. But so he wouldn't be able to get the origami in there with the locker locked. So it wouldn't have been him. But then it's the second time is after he already died. There's more origami in the locker. So now
It's still happening.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
So now he knows, she knows, and he knows that it really wasn't him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They assume it's the chubby friend.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly got a thing for Caroline.
Yeah.
Breaks into his house and finds that disturbing note in his desk.
Yeah, the lyrics to the poem or the song
Yeah.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, by the way, him watching the kid jam out to that butt rock music
Oh yeah.
the whole time.
It felt like the kid knew he was there.
You think so?
That's what it felt like. And that's why he wasn't leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't believable. Who listens to this music this loud?
I think
Playing Pong of all games.
yeah.
It's probably just copyright free.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then so anyways, but when he's reviewing the documents of the case and he's looking at his notes and photos and all this stuff, he sees that yellow piece of paper that's unfolded origami. It's like a balloon or a rose or whatever it is, but it's just folded piece of paper, unfolded. Now you can see all the creases and stuff in it. If you watch at the very beginning of the movie, when he's looking at the case from the missing girl from Gracie, there is a piece of folded up origami paper on his desk in the clues. It shuffles by it very quickly.
Oh, is there?
On a second watch,
Yeah.
you'll see it. And he puts two and two together and has to go to the case files he's stored in his parents' garage.
Shed or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. And he finds the folded piece of paper.
Yeah.
At that point, does he know it's the principal?
I don't know if he knows it's the principal. I'm trying to remember the event.
He goes to visit the principal to ask him about.
Oh, about yeah. He doesn't suspect the principal, I think, outright, but
When he first talks to the principal, he goes and visits him to ask. What's he asking for? He asks him for a favor. Is it to get into the locker?
He's asking about what's the kid's name, the victim's name.
Okay.
The victim. And then he's like, well, you got to help me out with something. And there's a bunch of broken beakers in science class. And he tells him about the overnighters.
The overnighters, yeah.
And then they kind of divulge information. And he talks about, the principal talks about the victim being like, yeah, he was quiet, kept to himself kind of person. And how he ends, like how he realizes that it is, or that he to go talk to the principal, or to go to his house
To break into his house,
yeah. Because he finds the piece of unfolded paper in his like old files, right, and from there, I'm like blanking on where it goes.
Yeah,
I think he just puts two and two together that he knows that the principal went into the locker. Because he has the code.
He has.
Lockers
Oh no! It's he found the picture with the.
No, but that's once he breaks into the house.
He's getting flashbacks, and somebody mentions like, "Well, we had to register all of our locker numbers to the principal."
Yeah, exactly.
And so he was the only one who had access to it. I think so. That's the connection. That's the connection there.
That's when he breaks into the house. You don't even know whose house it is when he breaks into it.
See, we solved a mystery of us not remembering something from a movie
There
that
you
we've
go.
seen less than
There you
24 hours
go.
ago.
And but it's great in that regard because they don't spoon feed it to you. They don't. He's not speaking the exposition out loud.
Yeah.
He just goes to the house, and he finds the picture. He picks the lock of the safe or the little lockbox. Finds a picture of the blonde girl in the tiger mask and only the tiger mask.
Yeah.
And then, but he leaves his paper clip.
Yeah.
He leaves a paper clip.
Yeah, well, I think he like dropped
He
it
drops
when
it.
He drops it because he hears somebody come in.
goes for the closet, then realize no, I goes
can't
under the
fit.
bed.
Abe, I know you're in the closet.
That gave me a chill down my spine when he said that.
Yeah.
I was surprised the first time I saw it where he says, "I'm actually under the bed." I figured he would have just
not said anything.
and assumed he would never found him.
Yeah.
But that exchange afterwards when he's sitting there is tense.
Yes.
Tense.
Yeah, because it's the principal, by the way. Spoilers. And he's revealing the information. Like he obviously knows that Abe knows, so it's not like a secret anymore. And so he just
at this point he's basically breaking the he's breaking the kidnapping case, not the murder case.
Yeah, not yet. And then he's kidnapped Gracie, and then he mentions that he had to give up their daughter.
Yeah.
And then earlier in the movie, Caroline makes up this crazy. Well, she doesn't make it up, but she tells the story about her parents.
Yeah,
who died in a downhill. Both died in a downhill skiing accident.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, I feel like she's lying.
And the one photo she has of her parents, they're both skiing.
Yeah.
And it's clearly a stock photo.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it's a stock photo.
At first, when she said that, and it might have been a red herring because I was like, I feel like she's lying about that because that's very outlandish. And but it was like it was not true, but she wasn't intentionally lying.
Yeah, that's what she was told, and she believed it.
She was according to her grandparents, she was a gift from Jesus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the principal reveals that there was fucking rape involved, and then
he kidnapped Gracie,
pedophile rapist,
raped her. She had a child. He gave away the child, and the child was Caroline.
Yes,
that was an insane twist.
That was fucking crazy.
And then she's still alive.
And well, not yet.
Yeah,
we don't know that yet. And then Abe was just sitting there listening to this, and I feel like he has like no words at this because this is his old man monologue.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then
what a fantastically acted scene.
And then he just goes, "What now?"
Yeah,
and he pulls out the fucking knife, and I'm like, I knew he was gonna kill himself.
You thought so?
I just didn't know how he was gonna do it. I thought he was gonna
yeah,
but no,
twice in the heart.
More brutal than you think. And then
How?
a pretty fantastic dying performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was just, what do? You're just fucking watching this guy do this to himself.
Yeah, mouth agape.
Yeah, and yeah, like Abe's reaction is probably more or less what I would react if someone stabbed themselves in the heart in front of me. I'd be like,
okay, what if they shot himself in the head? What would you do then?
I would probably, well, I would be like, ah!
Can we do a Tyler on the spot and give a reaction? All right, Tyler. Someone's you're sitting in front of somebody. They got a gun to their head. Bang. Very good.
Okay, well, what do you do right after that? Do you
I'd be like,
rats.
Wow.
I'd be like, oh, jeez.
Oh, fuck.
Be like,
oh,
I'd probably just like go like this over the table, like, oh.
You okay?
What is that?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Guys, are you okay?
And then
Doug?
and then I'd be like, okay, okay.
And then you leave.
And then I'd be like, oh yeah, 911.
All right, now it's a stabbing. Okay, ready? I'm saying across the table from
Yeah.
Oh. What's your reaction? That's it?
I'd
about
probably
to have
like
the
look
hardest
around
boner
and
right
be
now.
looking around and be like,
Get this man in front of a camera. All right, that's enough of that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think go back to the 3-up.
Oh yeah.
We have the interaction between the two of them I think is also really good because the principal basically says, I've always been easy on you because we're both the same. The world doesn't believe that we're capable of what we really are. Because he's like, everybody thinks that he's a shitty detective, whatever, and he can't actually do it. But he's like, he actually solved it.
Yeah.
All these years later, he redeemed himself. And at the same time, the principal, nobody thinks that he's capable of it.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's a principal. He's a kind old man. But really, he's a fucking monster.
Didn't he say something along the lines that he was testing him too and his skill as a detective? I feel like he said something.
Yeah,
like that.
when he was younger.
Yeah, he's planted the donation box on the guy that keeps beating him up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He planted the donations box in his desk. The principal did.
Yeah.
After Abe says, well, maybe it was so-and-so because he got bit by a dog last summer and the funds were supposed to be for the animal shelter. So he doesn't like dogs, which means that he was probably it.
Yeah.
So he planted it and then they found it and the kid got in trouble. And basically the principal was just like, oh, I can just let this kid do whatever he wants. Like he's just going to believe whatever I tell him. Sort of a thing. Which I don't know if that really holds water, but.
Yeah. And then looks out of the shed.
Oh, you know why he looks out of the shed? Did you notice it in the fridge?
No.
He gets the bottle of beer and he chugs it. He's borderline alcoholic. And then he looks back in the fridge and there's grape soda in there. That's what he was paying his receptionist to. He's like, I paid her in grape soda. And so she was sipping grape soda in the one scene where she's at the receptionist desk. And then
Gracie was the receptionist?
Yeah, Gracie was the
Yeah.
receptionist. And then he's like, grape soda. Fucking old man's not drinking 12-pack of grape soda. And then he looks into the backyard and sees the shed.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the shed was supposed to be like looking like his like treehouse office that he got taken down. Didn't they take it down?
Somebody cut the tree down.
Okay, yeah. So I thought it was his office from the treehouse, and I thought that's what he was recognizing because he looks.
Oh, before he opens the door.
Yeah, because he looks out and he's like, "That's my treehouse."
Oh no,
I don't know. I think that might be a stretch.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Damn.
Yeah, but then he goes out there and it's like, okay, he opens it, and I think it's just going to be remnants of a room.
Yeah,
but
I thought she was dead.
Yeah,
It said she didn't last long.
Yeah.
After we gave our,
so I thought
our
it was,
daughter away.
I thought it was just going to be like the movie Room situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was, and she's there, and she's
obese,
traumatized,
and looks like a golem.
Oh,
I feel so bad for her. Just
and it's 20 years.
20 years. Yeah.
And she's obviously stunted at growth.
She was supposed to be. I mean, she was 14 when she was kidnapped. And
really,
yeah, she was.
She
14.
did not look like a 14-year-old.
Wow, Tyler,
why'd you look like?
You sound like the principal now.
Well, no, I'm just saying she looked like she was like 11. I didn't realize they established ages.
The principal does say she got exactly what she wanted.
Oh.
The whole town was looking for her. Everyone in the whole country knew her name for those 3 months. And she used to come by my office just to show off her outfits. You're like,
oh, because the popularity thing, or she wanted to be popular.
Yeah, there's a little allusion to that when she's walking with her friend, and she goes, "Oh, I met a really cute boy." Da 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 da. And she's like, "You always meet cute boys. I'm so tired of it. Everyone likes you."
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, I met a boy. But yeah, that's what he's basically saying is like she wanted it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's trying to justify.
He's justifying, yeah. And then I also like his line where he says, "I took something beautiful away from this world, but I gave something back."
Balance is restored.
Yeah, and that's
It's
when
like Thanos.
That's when he pulls out the picture of the Asian kid and is like, "Yeah, well, what about him?
Mm-hmm.
No, this balance is not restored.
Yeah,
he took away another innocent life,
and then he kills himself to restore the balance."
Hey, I do like his response to him. He's like, I was a little relieved when she started dating him. I always found him like sexless and irrelevant.
So it was
what a description of someone.
Sexless
it was
and
like
irrelevant.
It was like a controlling like power thing.
I think he realized, yeah, he's like, you're not gonna wine and dine my daughter.
My daughter that doesn't know that she's my daughter.
No, exactly.
And that I raped and kidnapped her mother.
And then after it's all said and done, after everything is revealed, and he gets back to the office, he's for one taking down all the stories about him, his treehouse being cut down, and all the things that he solved as he's a child.
Because they weren't really solved.
They were. They solved them. The only one that was confirmed not real was the
donation.
the framed donation one. But it was just like now he's not. None of that matters anymore. That was a child. And he's grown up now. I think that's what it signifies. And I like. Did you notice on the door? It had the kid detective, and then when he's an adult, they just scraped off kid. So the detective is
detective.
It's
spaced out.
It's not centered anymore.
I didn't notice that.
But she comes to visit him in the office, and he asks her, "So have you talked to Gracie yet?" And she goes, "She's just a child."
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, that's my mom, but she's just a child.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're the same age now, they're both 14. I think that no, she's got to be 16 because she's got a driver's license, 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, she's more mature than Gracie was when she was kidnapped, and I guarantee that she is regressed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In 20
stunted
years.
and regressed.
Yeah, she's not 14 anymore mentally. She's
I don't think there's really going to be any sort of normal relationship between a mother and daughter at that point.
Never.
And then the very ending when he's like starts to cry on the couch. How did
you interpret that, Tyler?
I think it was accumulation of like the trauma that he had just experienced. Like, I don't think
trauma of what?
Witnessing
discovery
someone
of the
stabbing himself.
of the discovery of the Gracie in the cabin, or not cabin, shed.
Okay.
Witnessing someone who I don't know if he looked up to him, but respected.
Yeah, he was a respected member of the
found
community.
out that he's a monster. Also, him killing himself in front of Abe, and I think it's like a coming to Jesus moment where he realizes that the world ain't so innocent. And I think it's so heavy on him for, like, I think that his idea of being a detective, that's what he liked. He liked the idea because he was always taking these like nickel and bag cases. So
nickel and bag,
or nickel and dime. Sorry,
you thinking dime bag?
Nickel and dime
druggy. What do you think about that, Joseph? You mentioned that earlier. Different ways you can interpret that.
The fact that probably he could have solved it when he was younger, or he failed. He feels like he failed at preventing this from happening, something that he couldn't even imagine happening in this town. And the fact that the pressure was put on him, like, we're all counting on you. Like, the fact that they did it to him and then he did it to himself because he painted himself as like, I am this I am solving all these
smartest person in the world.
I am solving all these things, but I couldn't figure out this one, and I failed my friend.
Yeah,
and she has suffered because of this, and now this kid has died.
I forget that's her friend.
Also because of this.
Yeah, greatly
suffered. And his life has been like living in this town. People have looked down on him, like, for however long, and he's lived a miserable existence for a decade at least.
Yeah.
So it's probably all of that.
I took it as it was this entire time, like, as a kid, all the way up until this moment, we pick up on the story of his as an adult. He's pretending to have his shit together. Like, I can solve this murder mystery. And his parents are like, no, you're taking advantage of that poor girl. Yeah. And everyone's like, this is way too big for your britches. You can't do this.
Oh, yeah, and his parents not believing in him.
Oh, the scene of his parents following him was great too.
Yeah.
Whose car is this? This is Uncle Carl's. but it's like, I felt like you ever feel like as an adult you're pretending to like have your shit together, but some days you're just like, I don't know anything. I'm just faking it, because I have no other choice,
No, I'm 100% confident in myself. I've never questioned the.
You know exactly that you don't know what you're doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing. No one can stop me.
I feel like that was that moment for him where he's been putting on a good face, like a strong face, for so long that he's like, I'm a capable kid detective, and I'm not giving up. I'm still going to be doing it. And in his mind, he never let go of that case.
Yeah.
And finally, and then it's all done, he's able to take a big breath and sigh of relief, and he just realized that he's had so much pressure put on him for so long that he's finally just like, fuck, I can't believe I've been under that pressure for that long, and he finally let go of it.
Well, in a way, he was also stunted at growth when she was kidnapped.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point. We could go on forever about good quotes too. Like he warned Caroline at the beginning. Are you sure you want to know?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want it? Because you're going to go down this road and you'll find the truth, and the truth isn't always clean.
Yeah.
It's usually dirty. And at the very end, when she says, he goes, I'm really sorry that it worked out this way. And she goes, it's okay. You warned me. He goes, yeah, but I was just being pretentious.
Yes.
So like, he's aware that he's a friggin' joke in a way. But at the same time, he's good.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
He sets the little trap so he can get back into the house. He does the little trick about, who stole my beret? Oh, who ate the most cake in your friends?
Doesn't work if you have a fat friend.
Yeah, it only doesn't work if you have a fat friend. So he's got it. He's got the trappings of a good detective.
Yeah.
But who knows if it's real or not. So
I mean, I would have loved for him to like interact with real detectives, and then him just getting like bitch slapped by real detectives.
Well, even better, you got bitch slapped by a child. Actually, no, he slapped him.
Basically, just like saying, "Stand down, kid.
Yeah.
We got it from here."
Yeah.
The the kids on the stoop, like those were the kids that he was scared. Like,
Yeah,
like, like these kids are like drop a fucking Hot Topic.
Yeah.
I liked the Caroline's acting. I liked
Yeah.
her character was really weird, and odd,
subdued.
Because she seems like she would be of someone who is like a popular person, but she's just like this sort of weird, kind of quirky, looks worried all the time.
Well, you have to understand her parents were like ultra Christian, or grandparents. So like, yeah, she's gonna be a little weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, we already graded the damn thing, so let's see what is next.
Patreon.
Yes, we have
next week.
Oh yeah, so the Patreon picks next week.
We gotta start. When do you put this poll out?
So the first 2 months worth, the first 2 topics, I did it just like we're doing it this time. I was gonna say, well, we'll do it earlier in the month, but it is kind of fun to do it on the last week, so we don't. It's a surprise.
Puts
and
a fire
for this
under their
week,
feet.
for this week, I'm not gonna be here for next week.
Oh, next weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving for Canada.
Yeah, he's going to the Great North
on Thursday. Thursday morning, I'm flying in. Yes, that one. So, whatever the Patreon members pick for you guys to review, it's not going to be me.
Yeah.
It'll just be the 2 years. And then I'll just let Brianna know you guys are coming over.
Sweet.
Yeah. Do just like when I went to Portugal.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
how did we do that? So I know we recorded, but I'm like, did I? I don't remember. I know we did that. I don't remember doing like the uploading and all of that though.
I think Pete did that.
Maybe
maybe you did. I don't remember.
I don't remember doing it.
No.
Either way, I'll be back Sunday.
All right.
So I can do the uploads.
Oh, okay.
Or you can just upload the. Because you had to edit it together and stuff too, huh?
I don't remember doing any editing.
I for sure did not do that.
Yeah. Maybe I just
dumped it
raw.
as is. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, the editing that I do every week for the show is really just kind of leveling.
Yeah.
I just level the audio from the different tracks and whatnot, and make sure it sounds, sweeten it a little bit, get rid of the background noise a little bit. So
if
it's not there, oh well, who cares? So anyways, we're not going to spin the wheel because that's next week, but we are going to be putting a Patreon poll out, and I'll encourage everybody, if you're listening to this and you're on the Patreon poll, if you like someone else's pick, like it, click it, heart it, give it a heart or a reaction or whatever.
Don't vote for your own.
Yeah, because if you like, if you say, oh, I want this movie, I want the Maltese Falcon, and then you're reading that, and someone else writes that down, and you go, ooh, the Maltese Falcon would be good. Just thumbs up it.
Yeah.
I'll count that as a second vote, basically. So we'll go just like we did last time until end of the day Thursday, and then you guys basically have Friday, Saturday to watch it.
Yeah.
Friday night and then Saturday morning to watch it. Cool. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. If we want to do it differently, we could just start posting it first week.
What about the Patreon topics?
That's next. After next week, you guys will have to spin this to determine what May.
You mean this week?
No, next week.
Yeah.
No, what I mean is, when we meet up.
When you guys meet up, you're gonna spin this, and then we have the cool ass yard duties. This half of the wheel.
Oh, it's already okay. The topic's already there.
80s and 90s erotic thrillers or post-apocalyptic dystopias. Those are already there.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll figure out what they want to watch for the entire month of July. Yeah, right?
Right. Yeah. Next month is July.
Yes.
July.
So July will be one of those, and you guys will do the spin at that time.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Anything else you guys got?
That's it.
No.
No? Okay. Very good. Didn't you have a new drop on the board?
Waiting music.
There we go. So, thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. If you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just spread the word on the YouTube. Send a link to your friends or family, anybody that likes watching movies or likes listening to other people talk about movies, looking for more recommendations, people who like movie news, people who like live chat shows, any of that stuff. If you have a friend or a family member that fits that criteria, send them a link to the YouTube channel. That would be great. Until next time. Thank you for joining us today as we gab and we chatter. We talk about The Kid Detective. Thank you for joining us in the chat, everyone who is there. We had a little bit of Dallas, a little bit of Heather, and a little bit of Binge Lord Dan for a minute.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right. Well, I will see you in 2 weeks, but Joseph and Tyler will see you next week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.